Here with this part of the supermarket, everybody that I'm talking to here today, I know shops here regularly. So we're really not going to spend a lot of time in the front part of the grocery store. We're going to go out behind the scenes where you normally don't go, and we're going to talk about kind of the operations of how we operate the supermarket, maybe our relationship with Hannaford Brothers, Dean's, the history of Dean's Bud and Bud Shop and Save, and so what I really like to do is kind of roll out into the back room. We'll find a quiet spot out there and talk about that. Ready to go? This is our small freezer, actually.
Oh, yeah.
This is our bakery freezer, and this is our area where we keep our produce that doesn't have to be refrigerated. We eat bananas and onions and potatoes and that kind of thing. These are employee lockers. Our break room's right on the other side. Our time clock out here. This up above us here is where Dean's offices is, and what we're really going to do is, I think we're going to roll up into Dean's office. Dean's going to talk about history, a little bit of history of Bud's. Also talk about some of our accreditations with being a green store and that type of thing. So I think we're going to roll right upstairs there. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll show you the big freezer later. We got a freezer that's five times this big.
Oh, cool.
This is just for bakery items. We use this freezer for.
That's what some Alina Petard is kept.
Yeah.
That's right.
That is nice.
Dean says maybe we'll run that ad, later this summer. Bacon
Great
39 cents a
idea.
pound.
Now we're gonna say 59 cents.
We'd have to have an armed guard at the front door. Skull up 69 cents a pound.
Could you mention that that's not today's prices?
Yeah, that's not today's prices. That's 1959. April 30th, I believe it is.
Yes.
April 30th, 1959. And they cut the ribbon down the downtown store. This Dean's office, and
Hey, Don.
I'll let you
Look at
take
this.
over here, Dean. I'll let you take over for a
Did
while.
you make that one?
Actually, our store manager over in Newport at one time, he made that. Ken Gilmore made that, right?
Isn't that
Yeah,
snazzy,
that
huh?
thing's 20, 30 years
Back
old.
when there was a Welby supermarket
Yeah, yeah.
and Welby drugstore.
And the truck said Shop and Save instead of Hannaford on it.
That's right.
Anna, there's a shopping basket and I don't know over there.
Here.
Another
Oh, isn't that
one of our
cute?
employees made that too.
Really?
This is for our 50th,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, they found this home too.
So up here, Pam is in there and Darlene is in there. They they count for all our purchases and the sales where they do cash ups for the week. All our charges from Hannaford, they verify that everything is then accounted for. We all look up here. And it's all basically all the bookkeeping is done up here. Started in 1953, my father in Newport, and then opened the Pittsfield store in 1959, and then Dexter was 1963, and then there was one in Wilton for a little while, up in the mid-60s. So, and then that's lasted till probably 2 years in Wilton. Then sold the stores in 2016 to Dexter, Newport, to Hannaford, and here we are here, home base. With for the environment, we do a lot of recycling, and we are certified grocery stewardship, which means they come around, they analyze your facility, they look at your how you heat. We have new compressors we put in 2010. They're energy efficient. They don't run 24/7 like the old ones used to. We have heat reclaim, and actually, sometimes if the furnace goes off, the heat reclaim will just pick that up. We recycle plastic. We recycle cardboard. We send it back to Hannaford. Pallets. We take back plastic bags that people use on the front end and send them back. What else? Oh, and then part of the stewardship is that. So they look at your equipment and see if it's efficient. Is the airflow efficient on each piece of equipment, so that you're getting the right draw and not maximizing too much energy. LED lights. We have all LED lights downstairs in the floor and in the cases. We have doors on the cases down there that keeps the air from coming out, cold air coming out. Just general observations like that that gave us the rating. And so we can show you some examples of that when we're walking around.
As we get down through this hall, on the right-hand side is where we process our produce. This is our produce cooler here. We process our produce on this side. You'll see a door on the left. It's going to be the deli department. And then when we get a little further there, we'll stop and talk about some other stuff. As you look up overhead, is the back side of those offices we were talking about. More storage up there. We're going to step out into this room here. Let's go. As of in 2010, this was the back of the store. The room we just walked through, everything that we had for back stock was in that room. So we're, in a short time, we're going to go over to the new, we call it new back room, where we have multi levels, and we have a walkie stacker and power jacks that you have to have licenses to run and stuff. But this room here is our receiving room, where we have a receiver every day, except for Sunday here at 3 o'clock in the morning. All the milk trucks, potato chip trucks, bread trucks, beer trucks, soda trucks, Hannaford trucks, they all come through this back door early in the morning. We have an emergency exit and a dumpster out there. All this stuff behind us is all stuff that we recycle. We recycle all our milk crates, all our pallets. This is a bale of cardboard. We'll look at the baler in a minute, but that's all groceries that come in cardboard. The next load, we send bales back out. All these are different types of plastic that we save and recycle, and plastic pallets and totes. So we're going to walk by these doors and out into our new back room. Remember, all the stuff that's out in this new back room used to be in that room behind us. We used to be really crowded. Used to really be very, very crowded. Now we're very roomy. This is all new since 2010. So this is our stacker that we use to stack all this stuff up here. Keep all the.
Chris, how do you schedule deliveries? Do they don't come at 3 o'clock in the morning, right?
No, but throughout the morning, usually between 3 o'clock in the morning and 10 or 11 they show up.
And so you schedule that, or do they?
No, over the years it's evolved into a schedule, and everybody's got their own time. And if they don't come at their time, they can come, but they're just going to have to wait, because we don't have a receiver, all day. We only have a receiver from like 3 in the morning until like 11 o'clock. So everything we receive is during those times. Yeah, and we keep some records out here, and of course there's some storage out here. But all our soda and beer is kept out here. And when the trucks come in the morning, the Hannaford trucks, we have a full truck of Hannaford. We have Hannaford trucks from Hannaford coming on. It's Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays. So you guys have to be here on Tuesday, so you have to put up with all that. But all those pallets in that truck, the Hannaford truck backs up there, all those pallets come off and come out in here. We stack them right in this corner right here. Then you see all these U-boats, we call these U-boats, these wagons here. We have a crew comes in, they take and sort all the things off those pallets, like into what goes in aisle 1, what goes in aisle 2, aisle 3. And we have a member of the crew comes in and says, I'm doing aisle 1 today. He'll grab the wagon, aisle 1, go out, start putting up the freight. So that's how we put up the freight. We have a crew that does that in the morning. Of course, the produce, the meat, the deli, that goes to other parts of the store, but this is the grocery room, so that's where we keep the groceries right here. And behind you there where it says compressor room, this is a room that we added on in 2010 and put all the updated new energy efficient compressors. I'm going to open this, but the video is going to be noisy. But we have 3 racks. We have 2 low temperature racks to run all the low temperature foods, and 1 medium temp. And you'll see 1 right inside the door here. The other 2 are down another level. But
there's also a on the wall. It's called a Danfoss. It's kind of the brains of the outfit. It monitors everything, and the timing, the temperatures, defrosting, and that's on the alarm system. That's on the back side of this.
It also runs the computer, the system he's talking about. Also runs all the lights in the store. It turns on the lights. It shuts off the lights at night. We don't do that. It also has my telephone number and makes sure it calls me every time in the middle of the night we have any kind of a problem, whether it be burglary, whether it be refrigeration. You know, if one certain case is down a little bit or up a little bit, it calls, says, you know, you got to get in there and find out what's going on. It's all computerized from down in the compressor here. But nothing really to look at, but there's a lot of brains in there, a lot of power and a lot of brains. Like I said, this is just one rack up here. There's 2 more racks down the lower level, and the computer system's down there, but it's really noisy in there, so we didn't really do it. RFID sticker, I don't know if it's a radio frequency sticker, and you stick it on that top of that pallet. When it goes to Hannaford, how I know this, I happened to be there on tour last week, that all those pallets go on the conveyor and zip down through, and this machine says, you know, reads that, as it zips through, it reads it, says, oh, that's from store 8139, you know, so it keeps track of how much, you know, we have to issue. But it's kind of interesting. Where I'm sure you guys probably aware of, we let customers come in and use boxes if they're moving or whatever, that kind of thing. These out here, we save in, like the garden club might be, I don't know what we're saving, who we're saving them right now for, but we use this area to save boxes. Banana boxes, all the damaged goods that we get, you know, like when we're putting up freight, if you know, a box is cut open or those kinds of things, we send that back to a center, and we use these banana boxes. That's why we have so many banana boxes. We use those banana boxes to ship them back, and then we get credit for, you know, if it was damaged before it got here, we get credit for that type of items. We had a freight the day before yesterday, and items that didn't go on the shelf, what we call repacks. We leave these on these carts. These carts are set up by aisles too. So in the evenings, sometimes you see students in here putting freight on the shelves. What they've been called to do is come in, grab the repack carts, you know, try to keep the shelf full. And while they're filling those shelves every night, we face all the shelves. When I say face them or block them, we bring out all the groceries to the front so it looks like a wall when you walk down through there. Every night when we leave, it should look like that. So, you know, it just looks more appeasing to customers that come in, and that's how that all works. This right here, this is our receiving center, a receiving computer. I said before, everything that comes through the back door, whether it's grocery or produce, meat or whatever, we have to keep track of it. That's how we keep track of it with that machine there. We have a person, we call them a receiver, and they take care of that. Mail bags, we use mail bags to go back and forth to Hannaford. So you guys have been here enough times, so I'm sure you realize our association with Hannaford Brothers. Hannaford, we franchise through Hannaford Brothers. Bud Shop Save, Homestead Enterprises owns this store independently, 100%. Always has been that way. I know years ago there was rumors that Hannaford owns a certain percentage of this and that, and it's never been that way. Bud, or Homestead Enterprise owns this company. We have an intense or a close relationship with Hannaford Brothers. We talk to them every day. I know, you know, our flyer looks like theirs. You know, we deal with them all the time. But we kind of have the best of both worlds. Whereas we have the synergies of working with them and learning their ways and that kind of thing. But we also have the independence. If we want to buy something from somewhere else, that's why a lot of people come here that don't. A lot of things that Hannaford doesn't carry, they can't. Those stores are only allowed to carry certain things. We have a little bit of independence to be able to go other places and buy things. So that's one of the advantages of being independent. Well, there's another one right up there, hanging up there. They're all over the store. These things talk to those, and then those go to the computers, talk directly to Hannaford Brothers. Years ago, show my age now, but I mean, when I first started working here, we used to mail our orders to Portland. Then we got so that we could order them over the phone, and now it's like it's there, order it, be here the next morning. Just like the real world.
So it's reading barcodes, or what is it reading?
It reads barcodes.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then
You can punch numbers in too, but it reads barcodes.
Okay.
Yeah. And we also, not only we use that to receive things in. We use it to order things. We use it to inventory when it's inventory time, or if we want to know prices, you know, most big retail outfits now.
So your inventory control in terms of when to buy or replenish, that's done automatically?
That's not done automatically. Hannaford does. Hannaford stores, they have what they call CAO, and it automatically, they know how much they sold in it, and it orders it in. We still do it the manual, good old way. Some of us, like Bill particularly, he's been here a long time. He goes around the store every day and orders what we need to come in. Yeah. And of course that has, the advantage of that is, compared to the computers, is the computers don't know that it's Christmas or it's Easter or it's food stamp week or it's, you know, that kind of thing. Whereas we're intuitive to that thing. Cardboard baler that I was telling you about, you know, where we bail cardboard. I was telling you that these stickers look just like plain old stickers, but they're smart stickers. We put them on the bales, and they can tell through this computer where this comes from and weighs these cardboard bales and all that. We have a lot of the jobs here at the store. I know everybody knows that the students come here and work. Students that aren't adults, that are not 18. So there's a lot. When we do orientation, when we do training, we have to make sure that you'll see as you go by this signs, you can't put anything in the baler, you can't use a baler if you're not 18 years old. You can't go in the deli and use a slicer, you can't use knives in the meat room, you can't, there's certain limitations. You can't run the power jacks and that kind of stuff if you're not 18 years old. So, it's a balancing act with students and non-students, but over the years we've come up with a good working plan so that the kids know what they can do and what they can't do, and so do us adults know what they can do. We pick up any slack that's there. It's great having the students to be able to fill in and do these jobs. We've had an awesome bunch of students over the years. I started here when I was 15 years old myself, so I'm a little partner. But we have a great relationship with Nokomis and MCI both, and we've got some great kids, and we hope to have a lot more in the future. Dairy coolers, we keep milk and eggs in this one. Over here we keep our margarine and coffee creamers and all that kind of stuff in there. To my left, we're going to walk in here. This is our big freezer. You'll notice it's quite empty today, but come November when we're selling turkeys for 19 cents a pound, she's chock full right to the door. So we'll turn on some lights here. This is the big one. Like I say, certain times of year we have to fill the place fill it right full, but other times of year it's pretty sparse. Potato chips, paper towels. We try to keep fairly light stuff in this storage upstairs here, because who wants to carry stuff up and down the stairs, right? No, we don't carry them up and downstairs. We have a conveyor belt over here that we run them up, and I'll show them that to you in a minute. And also here is our this place. It's looks like a jail with chicken wire. So we keep all our tobacco and our alcohol so that keeps temptation from people.
Keeps honest people honest?
Keeps honest people honest. And so we have this. This is our conveyor belt that we move things up and down the stairs. You'll see this pile of junk sitting right here in front of the door. This is things that, like I was talking about earlier, that's damaged, that came in damaged. We have this area, we put it in this area. Someone later today will get some banana boxes, pack up the banana, pack up those banana boxes, and those go back on the next load to the warehouse where they take care of that. You notice lots of times, you notice that supermarkets usually have the refrigerated cases all around the outside, the perimeter of the store. Well, that's for several reasons, but that's where we can hide all the pipes underneath, the drains all underneath, and get to them easier. And that we do have a few refrigerated cases in the middle of the store here, but we have trenches underneath that run to those.
You have vendors that restock some of the shelves, like the milk and the...
We used to, back in the good old days, have people that they used to deliver milk, they ordered it, they filled it, they took it back. Now, we order the milk, it drops it on the back deck,
You
Okay.
do, okay.
But we do have soda and beers do have representatives that come in and take care of the soda and beer, and bread and chips. Those are basically the only four things that, otherwise than that, we take care of all our frozen, our dairy, all our grocery. You know, just quiet place, so we stop and talk for a minute. The store is divided into departments, obviously. We have the produce department, fresh fruits and vegetables. We have the meat department, self-explanatory deli bakery. Grocery is the whole middle of the store. Then we have the office up front, where the office takes care of the courtesy counter. They take care of all the money that goes to the tills that go out front. They take care of it's where they sell all the lottery tickets and all that kind of stuff. Then we have the front end, which would be the cashiers, the baggers, and the shift leaders. Each department has its own department manager. That department manager is responsible for the supplies that they order, is responsible for the schedules for the people that works in their department, their own markups and gross profits, you know, and then we have Dean and I keeps track of everybody else of what's going on in the store, but each department has responsibilities, and when you come to work here, you're hired for a certain department. We do swap departments once in a while, but for the most part, you work in a department and take care of those things. That's how it works here. What kind of things do you have questions about?
How about the baked goods? Do you do baking here, or is the baking all brought in?
We have some what we call commercial bake, comes in already baked, but we like I showed you the freezer out back there. A lot of the frozen stuff comes par baked, or it comes. We have a proofer and ovens, deck ovens out in the deli. We take and proof up the breads and that kind of thing. Same with muffins, but. Some things come in frozen, some things we make. Some things, we make whoopie pies from scratch, and there's certain things we make from scratch, certain things are already made, just depends on what it is. Yes.
When you finish.
Okay. We make our sandwiches in the front of the store, the sandwiches and salads. You know, some supermarkets have a commercial commissary that makes them for them. We make our own here. This has worked well for us over the years, and that's how we do it. People seem to like them fresh. We do a great job with hot food here. There's not much for fast food here in Pittsfield, so at lunchtime we do a lot of business with our hot entrees, chickens, you know, all that kind of stuff. We sell a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, so Chris, I'm wondering if there's any buzz out there in the manufacturing world that you've maybe heard about in terms of packaging and what the plan is for plastic in the future.
Not my department. I'm not aware of a lot going on. I mean, there is obviously, if anybody reads the news, there's a lot going on in the state, and which is you know, it's kind of exciting in many ways. We encourage recyclable bags. We do use plastic and paper depending on what people want. I know that the state has passed a law that they're going to styrofoam's going away. Actually, Dean and I were talking about that a little while ago. That's one of the advantages of having liaisons with people like Hannaford, because we were talking, saying, what are we going to do with all our styrofoam meat trays? Because really, styrofoam, the only thing really much of anything we use here is meat tray. Of course, eggs, but those people will start shipping something else. And Dean was saying that he had heard that they have a vegetable-based packaging that they're talking about doing, and you know, we'll get together. You know, as soon as Hannaford's got something rolling, that's where it works out well to be associated with those kind of companies, because they're on top of that kind of stuff, and we'll see what's going on with that. But that's the story on that. You know, as far as single-use plastic bags, sounds like the state's going to do away with them. You know, I thought that Dean and I both we felt that that was a good move. We were kind of worried before because one town was doing it, one town wasn't. It was giving competitive advantages to towns next to each other. But with this way, with the whole state doing it, you know, then everybody's on a level playing field. Sounded like a good idea.
I just, you know, you think back to the days of the old markets. You remember the butcher department?
Yeah.
Sawdust on the floor, everything got
Yep.
wrapped up in like that wax paper.
We did that years ago. But here's the thing about that: labor intensive.
Yeah.
very labor intensive. And one of the things that we're struggling with, not just us, the country, like you say, look at the news, labor is tough, finding
Isn't
people that you want to
Just as
do.
much work though to wrap it in styrofoam, you gotta put plastic around it, keep the thing closed.
You can do it, but you know, it's much faster and presentable to the customer. You know, you don't, if you do it the paper way, you do it, you know, the last minute when the customer picks what they want. You know, you'd have to have someone at your department 24 hours, no, not 24 hours, but, you know, whenever the store is open. You know, I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages to everything. You know.
Because cross contamination is a huge issue, so you gotta do what you gotta do to ensure the integrity of the product. So,
Speaking of that, we have, we sell groceries to thousands of people every week, so, you know, food safety is a huge concern here. You know, we have all the departments, Department of Agriculture, the OSHA, the Department of Health, the insurance companies are always coming in here and checking us. And we do we have training all the time of, you know, of food safety. In fact, I just was coaching this morning. I have a produce guy going to have a serve safe test on Thursday, and you know, that's something you have to do. That, you know, it's we're feeding lots of people. Lives are important. Closed the store the day before.
No,
Couple-
you're just preparing for everybody
couple years
that
ago.
are running here because they aren't gonna get here tomorrow.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, they were telling us we were going to have this huge store, huge storm, and
that's your weather right there.
yeah, that's the weatherman. We're going to have this huge storm, and
We have it here.
you know, we're going to be buried for days. So the only time ever, and I've been here for 48 years, Dean and I made the decision to close the store the next day. Made the announcement, called all our employees, said, "Don't, you know, we're not gonna chance it. We don't need to chance it." The next morning we got up. It was a nice morning. I came in, drove in, sat on, got up to the desk there, and I called Dean. I said, "Dean, what do we do now?" He says, "Better call, see if we can get a crew back in there." So that kind, we kind of blew that. The only time it ever happened. But any questions about anything else?
We can also.
That was fun, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
that's good.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. You did
Yeah,
a great job.
Very
Really informative.